on the Fresno State Bulldogs from Bulldog Stadium in Fresno, California, along with former collegiate and NFL linebacker Ray Bentley. I am Mark Neely. The news around Fresno State occurring on Sunday when they let Tim DeRuyter go after 4+ seasons, and Eric Kiesau elevated from offensive coordinator to the interim head coach. But the first couple of years for Tim DeRuyter, Ray, were very successful. The last 2+, not so much.
Yeah, he came in and won Mountain West Conference titles his first 2 seasons. Everybody was happy around here. Not so much as late. It's been a rough stretch now, and with a 1-7 start to this season after just 3 wins last year, it was time to pull the trigger, and that's exactly what their athletic director, Jim Bartko, did.
So Eric Kiesau, a head coach for the first time tonight. He's the interim head coach. He does have a very good resume, though, Ray.
Right, and the time especially notable is that which he spent with Alabama last season. He said he got to sit in there as a consultant, help them go to the no huddle, and soak up Nick Saban's wisdom like a sponge, and that's who he wants to emulate.
Eric Kiesau, the interim head coach for Fresno State. Air Force won the toss and deferred, so they will kick it away to the Bulldogs. Luke Strabel boots it, and we are underway from Fresno on this Friday night. Taken at the 5 by Keyshawn Johnson to the 25, 30, and he's up to the 34-yard line, and that's where Fresno State will begin after a 29-yard return. Now the Fresno State team that comes in at 1-7, 0-4 in conference play. They've lost their last 6. They want to avoid a 7th straight loss, Ray, which would equal a school record. Do not want to share that record. And Jason Virgil, redshirt freshman quarterback, comes out.
Yeah, and he's kind of a hot and cold guy. You'll see him in particular when they use up-tempo. He gets hot. He's pretty good. Not so much in other situations. So we'll see what he comes up with tonight.
Catch made by Hardaway. For a gain of a couple. Well, welcome to Fresno, California. Just underway this Mountain West Conference matchup between Air Force and Fresno State. First play of the game, just a 3-yard catch by Delvon Hardaway, and a 2nd down and 7 for the Bulldogs. Jason Virgil, redshirt freshman quarterback. And here's the jet sweep. Jameer Jordan running left, cut it back up the middle, and is tripped up at the 41 by Weston Steelhammer.
And Jameer Jordan is the guy they use from the slot to run those little flips, sweeps, the jet sweeps. They'll also send him deep and work him over the middle. One of 3 very good receivers for Coach Eric Kiesau.
So a 3rd down. They're just 34% on 3rd down this year, and a 3rd and 3 here on the first possession of the game for the Bulldogs. Virgil looking, and incomplete, and that one was almost picked off by Claude Alexander, one of the inside linebackers. So it's a 3 and out for Fresno State on their first possession under the new interim head coach Eric Kiesau, making his head coaching debut here tonight.
Right, he got the call at 7:30 in the morning after getting home at 4:30 this past Sunday from Jim Bartko, the athletic director, saying, "You are the head man now." And it's been a whirlwind week. He said he hasn't had much sleep, and he's been going 100 miles an hour, and I can imagine.
Ronald Cleveland makes the fair catch after a 45-yard punt. So Tim DeRuyter, who had been the head coach for the last 4+ seasons for Fresno State, let go on Sunday. And Eric Kiesau, who was the offensive coordinator, elevated to the interim head coach, keeping those offensive coordinating duties as well.
And he's got a nice pedigree. He's worked with a lot of really good coaches. In particular, last year, he was an offensive consultant for Nick Saban. Helped Alabama go to a no huddle, and he said he's spent a lot of time in those meetings taking notes on how Saban ran things, and that's part of how he wants to do things, and it's not a bad guy to emulate.
Romaine keeps the quarterback for Air Force, thrown for a couple-yard loss by Robert Stanley.
It's a speed option to the edge, and Stanley comes through and makes a nice play.
Nate Romaine is a senior academically, Ray. Eligibility-wise, he can come back next year and play for this Air Force team.
Right. And he started out the season extremely well, but a little bit off the last 3 weeks.
There's a catch by Robinette over at the sideline at the 22-yard line with that catch. Robinette, that's his 107th career catch, moves him into second place all-time in career receptions in Air Force history, only behind Ernie Jennings.
And the way they talk about him, and I heard whispers, he might be the best receiver Air Force has ever had in their entire history.
Probably at least since Ernie Jennings back in the late 60s, early 70s. 3rd down and 2. Air Force has converted 47% of their third downs this year, and running right, that's going to be a first down and more across the 30 up to the 32-yard line for Jacoby Owens. Gain of 9.
Part of the option is getting to the edge, and this is a quick pitch coming from the quarterback, Romine, getting it out there, and then the block on the edge is what made it work. They try to get to the sideline when this option gets to the pitch portion.
First down for Air Force from their 33. In motion comes Williams. It's handed off and straight ahead for Owens for a gain of a couple up to the 35. Defensive end Nathan Madsen with the tackle, a guy who's really been their most consistent defensive lineman this year.
And the Falcons are missing their top fullback, DJ Johnson, not playing here tonight. And that means Owens and other backs like Tim McVeigh are going to get more carries.
Here is the pitch to the aforementioned McVeigh. Wrapped up by James Bailey just across the 40 to the 41-yard line for a 6-yard gain.
It's interesting how Romine pitches the ball early and then tries to get in front and be a lead blocker. I don't know how often I would want my quarterback in that situation, but Romine, he's a gutty, gritty guy, and he'll go do whatever he can, whatever he has to get this offense moving.
Air Force converted on a 3rd and short earlier on the drive, now a 3rd and 3.
They like the counter option in these situations. You see Romine changing the play.
Romine gives it to Davern, who powers his way for the first down. Got enough across to the 44-yard line, got it by about a yard or so. We'll see a lot of Shane Davern tonight at that fullback spot, as you mentioned, without Johnson playing.
Outside veer, he's going to take it through that B gap, but a lot of times the extra yards are if you get further outside, and that's one thing that Davern does extremely well with the vision he has, and he's going to break arm tackles at 6 foot, 240 pounds.
Davern out of the San Diego area, Carlsbad, California, went to La Costa Canyon High School. Romine will keep it. He'll pick up just 1 or 2. That's Robert Stanley once again on the tackle for Fresno State. Stanley, who's back from a knee injury that had sidelined him. Young man out of Vegas, Bishop Gorman High School. That program has produced a lot of great talent around college football.
Fresno State blitzed that last play. That's one of the things they're going to use to try and slow this option attack down.
Romine keeps, fights off a tackler across midfield to the 49 of Fresno State.
You got a really nice block from Ronald Cleveland that allowed him to get the edge. Now, sometimes they'll option the guy on the edge. Other times they're going to block him and let Romine go do his thing.
Well, they've had a couple of 3rd and shorts. This is the 3rd one now, a 3rd and 3. On the plus side now at the 49 of Fresno State. First possession of the game for Air Force after Fresno State went 3 and out on their first possession. Romine gives.
And that's Parker Wilson, who's going to be playing a lot tonight because of the absence of DJ Johnson. Now, he's out with a hamstring injury, and they were very excited about the sophomore Wilson getting his chance at 5'11", 203 pounds. These fullbacks, it's hard to find fullbacks. There aren't many in high school football anymore. Right. So sometimes they take linebackers or maybe a running back in a one-back set who's a bigger guy, and that's where Wilson fits in. He's a true runner.
His first carry of the night, just his 12th carry overall on the year, but came in averaging 7.5 yards per carry. Here's the pitch. Jacoby Owens getting a block on the edge from Cleveland and pushes his way forward before Deshaun Potts pushes him out near the 40.
They really want to get that pitch to the outside, all the way to the sideline. And the reason is those alley players who are coming up to get the quarterback, those guys can get the pitch as well unless you take that thing wide.
8 straight runs now from Air Force. After the pass completion to Robinette, handoff and lost the football, and Fresno State recovers.
And that is always a concern when you have a young running back, just a sophomore. Wilson getting a lot of duty here tonight, and he not a good way to start as the ball gets punched out.
Like Nella Otokolo knocked it out, and number 7, James Bailey, eventually able to recover it for Fresno State. So the Air Force drive finished as they turn it over. Fresno State's second possession coming up when we return. 4+ seasons. His first couple of seasons went very well, Ray. They included a couple of Mountain West Conference championships with Derek Carr as his quarterback. Last 2+ seasons, not all that great. 10-24 since the start of 2014, and let go on Sunday. Well, Eric Kiesau, the offensive coordinator, he's the interim head coach, and he's trying to put his stamp on this program right away and asking if everybody in this program is still all in.
Right, and you know, he got home from the game last week at 4:30 in the morning and got the call at 7:30, and they sprung it on him. So he did some quick work in terms of figuring out, all right, what do I want to do? How do I put my stamp on this football team?
Virgil, a pass for Keyshawn Johnson off his hands, incomplete. Coverage there by Roland Lanipo, the cornerback.
So what Coach Kiesau did, Mark, is he gave everybody a piece of a puzzle. And he said, I want you to take this home, and this is symbolic of you being all in or not. If you don't want to be involved, don't come back. And he collected all those puzzle pieces the next day, and that was kind of a symbol for being all in.
Well, Virgil on the run, and then Jameer Jordan, tight walk along the sideline, and a first down at the 36 of Air Force, a 21-yard pickup.
And this is the area where he has struggled a little bit, Virgil has, in terms of throwing the football on the run. That one, he hit a guy wide open, and he was very careful making sure he got it to his guy, Jordan.
The first down for Fresno State, their first of the game. They have it at the 36. Fake the jet sweep. Virgil going to take a shot on first down, going for the end zone. That ball hanging up, caught, and hanging on, touchdown, Keyshawn Johnson. 36-yard touchdown reception for Johnson. His 4th touchdown reception of the year.
Great throw right there by Chasen Virgil. And the thing I liked about it, you mentioned, Mark, it was way up in the air. Watch how high this ball goes, the arc that he puts on it. And that's how you throw a deep ball. You got to let your guys have a chance to run under it. And they taught him, they said, listen, we want to see that ball go off the screen and then come back on the screen, just like we just saw.
Point after is up and through. And Fresno State on their second possession get a touchdown.
And they got to be excited about Chasen Virgil and the way he started this ball game. Made a couple of nice throws to get the ball down the field. Launches a beautiful deep bomb, and Johnson takes it to the house. Fresno State up.
USAA, insurance, banking, and investments tailored for the military community. And Applebee's new wood-fired grilled steaks, just $9.99 for a limited time.
Pleasant night here on this Friday in the Central Valley after we had quite a bit of rain earlier in the day. Taken from the 4-yard line. And McVeigh advances to about the 23. 19-yard return for McVeigh. Well, we're calling it Big Saturday because we have 3 Big Ten games for you, all with college football playoff implications. At noon Eastern, it's number 2 Michigan and Michigan State for the Paul Bunyan Trophy in East Lansing. Then at 3:30, Northwestern battles number 6 Ohio State at the Shoe, and at 7, 7th-ranked Nebraska and 11th-ranked Wisconsin from Camp Randall. All 3 games are on ESPN and also stream live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN.
That Nebraska-Wisconsin game may well be a de facto West Division championship in the Big Ten.
Second possession for Air Force. Their first ended in a fumble, and here's Shane Davern breaking free. All the way up near midfield. Tripped up by Jamal Ellis.
This is an inside veer, and watch the cut that the fullback makes. He'll actually go backside A-gap behind the center. He even gets behind the guard, and that's one of the things that's really difficult with these good fullbacks in the vision they have. If there's a seam or a crack, they'll find it, and they go vertical, straight up the field, and gash him for a nice pickup.
It was a 26-yard run for Davin. Here's the pitch to Owens, and that one read very well by the Fresno State defense. Trent Sechting tackles him for a couple-of-yard loss.
Nice play by Sechting, weaving his way through the traffic. You know, as a former linebacker, Mark, I always felt insulted when people tried to run the toss against me. You can't do that. And that's how Sechting took care of his business right there.
Sechting out of the Houston area, Katy, Texas. Spent some time at Blinn College in the JUCO ranks before coming to Fresno. Here's Romine to throw. Lets it go and finds his target for a first down. Robinette at the Fresno State 40.
And that's almost like stealing. The play action that they get, and then the way that Robinette drives the defender up the field, and then you see the hips turned on the defender. Robinette sticks his foot in the ground, wide open, nobody near him. A perfect throw from Nate Romine.
Second catch of the night for Robinette. That one for 14 yards.
Here's the counter option.
And kept. Romine falls forward to about the 35. Picks up close to 5. That was Trent Sechting we were just talking about, and had a chance to get him near the line of scrimmage or in the backfield, but missed him.
That counter option is, to me, the best play that Air Force has in the running game anyway. And they'll whip it out, and they have a lead blocker. The backside guard pulls. It's a really tough play to defend.
Romine keeps, throws, and it's wide of the target, looking for Tyler Williams.
And Romine's feet were off on that one, Mark. When you're throwing a football, you want your opposite toe. If you're a right-hander, you want your left toe pointing at that target. And Romine never really got that foot where it needed to be before he let it go. And that leads to inaccuracy. The accuracy of a quarterback starts from the ground up.
Air Force 3 of 3 so far on third down, but this one a little longer. Third down at 7. Got Robinette there at the bottom of the screen. Manned up with Jamal Ellis. Keeping, and will be short by a couple of yards. Romine stopped at the 32 by number 32, Robert Stanley.
And I think they're in a field position where they will go for this here on fourth down. You're looking at a 50-yard field goal, and Coach Calhoun told us his kicker's range is about 48. So given where they're at in the field position and just a few yards to go, they're going to go for it. They like to sweep in these situations in the past.
They're 3 of 9 on fourth down this year, so just 33%.
Unbalanced line to the right side. 2 men in motion.
And it's going to push it now to a 4th and 7.
And they were going to run that sweep. Shane Davern, the fullback, he wanted to get out there and get a block. He went a little bit early.
And that's going to change things and bring out the punting team.
And interesting, it would take a look at both these guys moving. I don't know why they blew the whistle.
Offense, number 33. 5-yard penalty, fourth down.
Because generally when two guys are in motion at the same time, they let the play run, and then they throw the penalty afterwards. However, in this case, they had two guys moving. They call it a false start. I'm not sure I understand why they did that. I suppose because they blew the whistle.
Well, it brings out Steve Brosey, the punter, who's really been booting the ball very well, especially recently, as last week 3 punts against Hawaii all averaged 50 yards. Trying to pin him in. Tyquan Glass calling for the fair catch at the 14. So third possession for Fresno State coming up. They scored a touchdown there last time. Fresno and the Bulldogs have the 7-0 lead over Air Force. Well, you see the head coach of Air Force, Troy Calhoun, who's battling 7 starters out tonight with injury.
Yeah, including both corners. And that's why Fresno, I think, is going to throw the football a lot tonight. So far, 7 plays, 5 passes.
There's a handoff. First run, Dontel James to the 19. Stopped by Patrick Healy. 4-yard pickup. Dontel James, 6 feet tall, listed at 216 pounds. And He's just pure power.
I like him. You know, he's not a dancer. This guy's a bull in the china shop. He wants to run you over, runs to contact. I really am impressed the way he follows his blocks and uses them. And he is a powerful back. He'll also block for you.
So the tight end Woodring in motion, pitch it. This is Trayvon Green. Trying to find the edge, but cannot. He stops shy of the 20 by Ryan Watson and Haji Dunn, and he'll lose a yard.
The Air Force defense was slanting in the direction of the play, and that's what really helped get a lot of hats to the area and shut that one down right away. Air Force will blitz. They are almost pretty much 100% man-to-man, whether it be quarters or some other type of coverage, and this one's cover one.
Third down, it's 6, and at the snap, the flag.
Snap infraction, offense, number 77. 5-yard penalty, third down.
It's on the center, Aaron Mitchell.
Yeah, what happens sometimes is they'll jerk that ball a little bit. It's a false start on the center. So he kind of jumped the gun, moved it a little, and then snapped it, and they're going to get you on that one. I'm surprised nobody from Air Force went off sides on it.
Mitchell, a veteran guy, making his 21st consecutive start tonight. Here's Virgil on 3rd and long, taking a shot down the far side. The adjustment by Johnson, incomplete, near midfield. Roland Latipo on the coverage for Air Force.
Latipo was really battling Johnson, got away, I think, with a little bit of a push, a little bit of a grab maybe, but both guys are doing it, so they let it go, and I think that's a pretty good call. And that impediment from Latipo caused that incompletion, because if Johnson was unmolested, he'd have run right under that.
Blake Cusick to punt from just outside his own goal line. Fair catch called for near midfield, and it's bounced, and it hit an Air Force player. That's a live ball, and it looks like Fresno State has recovered.
And that's just sloppy play by the special teams here. The number one thing you have to know on punt return, regardless of what position you're playing on that team, is where's the football. You cannot be running around trying to block somebody if that football's in your vicinity.
Well, some question about who's recovered here. Air Force saying they got it.
Well, there was sometimes it'll change hands underneath there.
Nope, it is Fresno State. Nope. They are saying, well, coming out of the pile was George Helmuth, number 34 for Fresno State, but the officials say Air Force had it.
See if
prior to that.
Get a look at it in terms of this scramble. You're going to see it hits number 15, Brett Baldwin, in the helmet, and now it's a loose football. And boy, Fresno, they should have come up with that football. Give the Air Force some credit for diving into that pile and wresting it away.
Boy, Helmuth had a great chance at it for Fresno State, number 34.
See, that ball comes up, bounces right off the face mask of Baldwin, and that's just poor special teams play. Your number one concern and priority is where is the football? You got to come up with the football when they're kicking it to you.
And there was 4 red shirts, Ray, around that ball.
Right.
No white ones, but somehow Air Force comes up with it. And I think Aaron Keesaw's asking, how did my team not come up with that football?
And he might have a legitimate beef, but they're not going to change it.
The referee tonight there in the white hat, Mike DeFee.
But I respect Coach Keesaw's coming out there and at least letting them hear his side of things.
Well, if it's not a break for Air Force, it's certainly a bullet dodged by them as they take over at the 49 of Fresno State.
Yeah, great field position.
Romine to throw on first down, looking for Robinette, and he has him inside the 20. First down at the 18. Taekwon Glass with the tackle. Robinette closing in on becoming the all-time leading receiver yardage-wise in Air Force history.
And this is a great throw by Nate Romine. Watch how he flattens this route off with his pass. You know, Robinette's supposed to be going up the field, but he sees where the ball's coming, and it cuts it off, and it keeps it away from the defender.
Inside the 15, he'll spot him down about the 12. Stratton Brown, Juju Hughes make the tackle on Dabbert. Robinette came in tonight 87 yards away from becoming the all-time career receiving yardage leader. He's 33 yards from that now.
They got him one-on-one at the bottom of the screen, and I'd go there if I was Romine right now. There's no help over there.
And Juju Hughes manned up on Robinette. Romine keeping, and not much there. Does not quite make it to the 10. That's Jeff Camilli, one of the captains for Fresno State, making the stop.
Leading tackler for the Bulldogs coming into the game with 70 stops, 10 per game. You're going to hear us call Camilli's name a lot today. And that was a follow play where they'll fake the dive and then the quarterback will follow him right up into the hole. And they had a lot of success with that last week in the second half against Hawaii, and they continue to run it here tonight.
In motion goes Tyler Williams on 3rd down and 2. Give it McVay. No, he stopped. That was Tobina Okeke. The linebacker came up to make the hit and kept him.
And Malik Forrester was also, I think, largely responsible for jamming that whole thing up.
Yeah, large is a great word to use there. 6'1", 320, the junior nose tackle.
So Air Force opting for the field goal. Get some points on the board here.
Well, Luke Strabel had hit a Mountain West Conference record 22 consecutive field goals before missing with a chance to win before overtime, and he misses here.
Boy, he just hooked that one. That looked like one of your golf shots, brother.
Wow, he hooked it. Well, he hit 22 in a row, but missed a 32-yard field goal at the end of regulation, and they wound up losing to Hawaii last week in 2 overtimes and saw their 15-game home winning streak in, so it stays 7-0. Well, this college football season, you can stream every game live on the ESPN app and on Watch ESPN. Download the app or visit watchespn.com today.
Not how Air Force likes to start. I mean, one thing Coach Calhoun talked to us about last night, mentioned several times, we got a fast start. We got to start fast and then finish strong. And so far, I guess finish strong would be the only option.
James with the carry. Well, after the 27-yard field goal miss by Strabel, Fresno State taking over at the 20. They lose a yard there.
I really think they should go to the air. I know the field position maybe isn't as conducive for that right now, but they had early success in that touchdown drive of throwing the football against these backup corners.
And number 7, Aaron Peck, in the game. He's missed the last few. There's not much there at all for Keyshawn Johnson.
Great job rallying to the football by this Falcon defense, and that's the way to stop those bubble screens. That one was actually a tunnel screen. You got to get hats over there, and they hustled it. That's the one thing that jumped out to me on film was the way this football team hustles around and gets to the ball.
3rd down and 10.
They're not the most talented guys, Mark, but boy, do they give effort.
Jordan motions out of the backfield and empty for Chase and Virgil on 3rd and long. Steps up. Big heave down the near sideline. Wide open. There's Jordan. Had to wait on it. Now races down the sideline. He's tugged out of bounds by Marquise Griffin. Inside the 25 and a long gainer.
And this, the defender looked to me like Steelhammer. He just falls down. And a great job by Virgil of staying with his eyes down the field. And that's exactly what happened. The defender, Steelhammer, fell down. And I've seen a lot of plays this year where Chase and Virgil had that but didn't see it. He's starting to see things a little better.
58-yard pickup on the reception by Jordan. It turns out to be the final play of the first quarter. 7-0 Fresno State at the end of 1. His debut here tonight. Bulldogs lead 7-0. We begin the second quarter. And after a 58-yard pass play completion to Jameer Jordan, 1st down Fresno State at the 22 of Air Force. And they were going to option that time, but false start will make it a 1st and 15.
Offense, number 78, 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
Right tackle David Patterson got a little bit of a jump on that as The Bulldogs were giving Air Force a little of their own medicine, running a quarterback speed option to the edge. And one thing that's interesting to me, Mark, this was a team that either did a lot of freeze and look over and the coaches will make the call for you, or they went tempo. So far tonight, everything's been just even keel, call your play, not pushing the clock either way.
Fakes the handoff to James. Pass. Johnson, a nice adjustment, and makes the grab inside the 15. Leave him about 2 yards shy of the first down.
And Marquise Griffin had the coverage there, but he didn't get his eyes back, so he didn't see the football, whereas Johnson did. And Johnson has a big catch radius. I mean, he can go ahead and get a football.
That plays under further review.
And they're going to take another look at it and make sure the catch was made.
So our replay official tonight, Don Capral, his communicator, D. Anderson, taking a look to make sure that Keyshawn Johnson completed that catch to the ground.
Yeah, I didn't really see anything in the live action that would have caused me to think that we'd have to take another look at it. See what happens here at the end of this deal. It's like he's got it in perfect control there. And that ball came out and hit the ground. You could just see it under his belly. You see it right now. Now the arm is underneath it a little bit. Gosh, it's a tough look. Let's see if this one's any better in terms of, I think the ball came out of his hands and he landed on it.
Well, my question, Ray, is he made a football move there. I know he's kind of in the process of going to the ground, but he's also taken a couple of steps.
Yeah, but he hadn't really made the grab as of yet. He was still, the ball seemed to still be moving around. Does he have it for sure right there? The hand comes in, and that's a really nice play from Griffin, getting a hand on it. I don't know that there's anything that I could see that would overturn it or force me to say, hey, that's indisputable video evidence. And his arm and hand were underneath the ball. I'm making this call. I'm not going to overturn this. This is going to be a good play to me. Even though you can see the football underneath it, but his arm is underneath that ball.
So again, the call on the field is a catch.
Excuse me, Mark. Our replay official, Don Capral, got 9 years under his belt up in the booth, so we're in good hands there.
Yeah,
after further review, the ruling on the field stands, completed catch.
And they'll do exactly what you mentioned. The call will stand, was not confirmed, but it stands.
And there was just nothing in terms of indisputable video evidence that ball hit the ground, and you could definitely see his arm underneath it. So I think they did a nice job.
So the catch stands. It's second and short, 2nd and 3 from the 15 of Air Force.
Waist down, 2nd and short. Take a shot.
James straight ahead, but he was met by Claude Alexander. They call him Trey, starting inside linebacker.
Boy, he did a nice job of keeping the feet moving and not stopping when he made contact. So many times you see defenders, their legs go dead on contact, and that's why the pile gets pushed forward. Not that time with Alexander.
Picked up 2, so it's 3rd down and 1. James again in the backfield. Virgil will give it to him and lowers the head and powers forward. Hit Alexander again, but James has enough for the first down for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, my money's on James when you're talking about having to get a yard and meeting the linebacker in the hole. He's just got so much power in his frame, and he runs with the shoulders low and behind the pads. He's a very good between the tackles type running back.
Trayvon Green comes in now as the running back. First down from the 12. Give to Green. Bounced off one tackler, but we get 1.5 yards, 2 yards up near the 10. Haji Dunn and Samuel Byers bring him down.
Yeah, it was Lachlan Deeks, the nose tackle, who got in there first, and he got a little bit of a shot on Green. And Green was able to get away from him, but it allowed the time for others to show up and minimize that gain.
Officially just 1 yard. 2nd down and 9. Virgil looks to the end zone and out of reach of Jordan. But a flag comes in from the side judge. I'd like to say it was Keyshawn Johnson, the intended receiver, and Latipo with the coverage, and the flag comes out late.
I think Latipo had one of his arms draped around the waist of Keyshawn Johnson.
Pass interference, defense, number 25. Foul occurred in the end zone. By rule, the ball be placed at the 2-yard line, first down.
Yeah, and that's exactly what happened, Mark. Latipo is going to get his off arm around the back of Johnson early, and they're not going to let you get away with that. You can see the left arm was tugging on that left shoulder of Johnson.
That occurred right near the goal line, so you heard the official say it happened in the end zone, so that is an important part of that equation. Puts it at the 2, first and goal from there. Virgil pitch. James running right, had some blocking, but it's well defended by Air Force, and he's dropped for a loss back at the 5. Marquise Griffin the first to get to him.
And Griffin's the corner. He's got contained as there is a flag down at the end of the play, but you got to have contain against the toss, and you want that thing to run sideways as much as possible, and that's exactly what they did. They strung it out. And a great job of contained by Griffin.
Offense number 89. And penalties decline. Second down.
Called that on the tight end, Kyle Rittering. Air Force will take the play, so it'll be second and goal. Ball spotted at the 6, so that lost 4 yards.
Sometimes that's not all bad. It gives you a little more room to throw the football, which I think that's what they should do right here. They've got inside alignments, which means outside breaking routes.
Jordan in motion. Virgil fade, looking for Peck, some contact, and a flag will come out again on Latipo.
Yeah, Latipo had both hands on the receiver, Peck, as the ball was in the air. And it's tough. I thought the first one was pretty close. This one was much
pass interference.
defined.
Defense, number 25 in the end zone. Ball be placed at the 2-yard line, first down.
So they're right back where they started from.
Much more defined. And once again, I really like what Coach Keesaw is doing here, attacking the corners of this Air Force defense, knowing that there's 2 backups in this game. You see the hands all over. I mean, that was a pretty easy call to make.
And Aaron Peck, who suffered a high ankle sprain a couple of games ago, was out against Utah State, but back in. Steelhammer and Healy make the stop that time on James.
Yeah, Steelhammer, one of the leading tacklers on this team, one of the most physical guys they have on that defense. And then Patrick Healy getting a chance to start for the second week in a row as Grant Ross is out at that Mike linebacker spot, and Healy's done a nice job.
James lost his helmet again. That had happened previously, so he comes off the field.
You're going to need to tighten up that chin strap a little bit.
So second down and goal. With Green the back. In motion comes Keyshawn Johnson. Virgil looking his direction. Fade again for Johnson. Caught as he's going out of bounds. They say touchdown. Well, I'm sure they'll take a look at this to see if he got a foot down and had possession all the way to the ground. But right now it's a touchdown for Fresno State.
Great adjustment to the football by Johnson, and I think he might have got both feet in. I saw the left foot, pretty sure that left foot got down. We'll take another look at it, and just a fade route. And the great job that Virgil does is get the ball up in the air and give his man a chance. Yeah, I mean that's going to be at least the left foot in, and that's all you need in college ball is 1 foot.
And the extra point good for Croning. And Fresno State out to a 14-0 lead.
And they are attacking the Air Force corners right now. And the Falcons are going to have to find an answer for that, or Virgil is going to have a field day.
Over there working with the offense. Keyshawn Johnson has a couple of touchdown catches. 14-0 Bulldogs. Oh, what a game this one should be with big-time college football playoff implications. It's undefeated number 3 Clemson battling number 12 Florida State in front of a hostile Doak Campbell Stadium crowd on Saturday. 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ABC, and also streams live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN. Taken by McVay from the 3. McVay upended at the 21.
The way I like to track an option football team is The dive, the keep, and the pitch. Where's the production coming from? Where are you trying to get it done? And so far, I think the Bulldogs have done a great job forcing the quarterback, Nate Romine, to keep the football. And then they've been stuffing them when they do it. And the dive's gotten some pretty good play, 8 yards a clip, but they've only got the pitch out there twice so far. And really, that's where they want to end up with the football, either the dive or the pitch. They do not want Romine carrying it.
Straight ahead. Tobina Okeke stopping McVeigh for about a 2-yard gain.
And the Fresno State defensive line is pinching hard to the inside to try and jam up that fullback. And now they'll change their looks up, but so far that pinch by the defensive line has been very effective.
Send Williams in motion. It's like Romine changing the play here. Owens. Forward progress to about the 29. Stood up there by Stratton Brown and Kyle Hendrickson.
And we were talking to the offensive coordinator, Mike Thiessen, for the Falcons, and he says that Nate Romine has the ability to change the play just about any time. And it's not so much the actual play that they'll change, but the blocking scheme in terms of who they want to leave unblocked, which is a big part of an option offense. You don't block one guy, that's the guy you're reading.
Air Force 3 of 5 on third down. Third down and 2. Here's the pitch. And in the backfield, Owens is upended at the 23 by true freshman Juju Hughes.
Put some juju on that one. Hughes did a great job coming up, and I just think Nate Romine pitches the ball too soon. He's done that throughout the night, and he did it on film. And when you got fast guys on the defensive side, you pitch it that soon, they're going to run you down.
Steve Brosi on to punt. Brosi gets it away, gets run into, and there's the flag.
I think it's only going to be a 5-yarder, though.
And it was 4th and 7. Tyquan Glass brought down near the 40.
Brosie's still down. And maybe he's trying to
get the big penalty.
Right, the 15-yarder. Look at me here. I can't even get up. Hopefully he's okay. And that's such a defenseless position, kicking the football as a punter. And you know, they went after it. That was definitely a block attempt. But the number one thing you have to do on one of those is not run into the kicker. And there's quite a confab going on right now between the referee and a couple of other of the officials to determine and decide whether or not that's the 5-yard or 15-yard variety.
Brosi helped to his feet. That draws the ire of the crowd, who I think are a little skeptical of the injury here.
I understand where they're coming from. Take another look at it, and you be the judge. Is this running into, or is this roughing?
There are 2 fouls, both on the receiving team. Running into the kicker on the defense, that penalty's declined. During the return, prior to the return, holding 18 of the receiving team. That 10-yard penalty we enforced at the end of the kick, first down.
And it was important he corrected himself holding prior to the return, which is why Air Force accepted that penalty.
That was Trayvon Green who was caught running into the kicker, and I think they made the right decision on that. He tried to hold up. It wasn't a big hit, and it was a pretty good job of Brosi trying to get the big penalty out of it.
So that pushes him back 10 yards where that punt came down, so they'll begin at their own 30. Jason Virgil, 7 of 10 through the air, Ray, 132 yards and the 2 touchdown passes tonight.
This is the best I've seen him play. He had a couple of drives last week when they were going tempo. He hit 14 passes in a row at one point. But to me, he's made leaps and bounds. And I don't know if it has anything to do, as the official had to run back all the way down to the 10-yard line. on the far side to get his flag. So that's why we have a holdup here. But I've been greatly impressed with the play of the quarterback, Chasen Virgil. Just a redshirt freshman. And that's one of the things Coach Keesaw told us. He's so mature off the field that you sometimes forget. This is only his 8th football game.
Yeah, he came in as number 3 in passing yards for freshmen in the nation. There's a flag once again.
Let's hope they
proud of the snap.
pick it up.
False start. Offense. Number 62. 5-yard penalty. First down.
DeAndre Francois of Florida State came in number 1 for freshman in passing yardage. Shane Buechele of Texas too. But now with his passing yardage tonight,
got 132 yards already here.
Virgil has moved into number 2 slot for freshman passing yards in the nation.
They got Logan Hughes on that false start. Hughes will also play some tight end in their stallion formation.
Virgil right now 34 passing yards away from passing Francois for that top spot. That's incomplete. Intended for Delvon Hardaway. Latipo's been busy tonight, number 25 on the coverage for Air Force.
Latipo, he's a all Mountain West returning corner now, but he's been injured, hasn't played a whole lot, getting a chance to do it tonight, and they are testing him out for sure.
Yeah, Latipo first team all conference last year. As you mentioned, has been dinged up a significant portion of this 2016 campaign. Virgil looking to throw on 2nd and 15 as time. Throws, nice grab, made it to 35, and with the run after the catch by Hardaway, he's all the way up near the 45s, tackled by Weston Steelhammer.
Well, they're trying to get it to the running back on a wheel route to the outside. It wasn't there, but the protection held up long enough that Virgil was able to go to his second read and thread one inside to Hardaway and move the chains.
20-yard gain, first down Fresno State from their own 45.
And you see 62 right now is playing tight end.
Here's the pass, and that defender Latipo and the ball getting there right about the same time on Hardaway. Incomplete. I'll let you add more. The fact Logan Hughes, who's the starting left guard at times, will be a tight end, but an ineligible tight end for receiving standpoint.
Right, and it's all about your numbers. If you have a number from 50 up to 79, you are automatically ineligible wherever you line up. That you don't have to declare, they don't have to say anything. It's just known that if you have an ineligible number, you're ineligible.
Here's Jordan trying to find the edge, gets a block to midfield. And stopped at the 47 by Marquise Griffin, about 3 yards short of the first down after a 7-yard gain.
Jameer Jordan is their water bug kind of guy that is very quick in any direction, put that foot in the ground, and he's got some shake and bake to him. They like to get him the football out in open field, in open spaces.
He had a career-high 10 catches last week at Utah State. A 3rd down and 3. Bulldogs 3 of 5 on 3rd down. Virgil, quick pass, finds him in stride at the 40. First down, first catch of the night for Peck, who then takes a hard hit, lost his helmet just outside the 30. Haji Dunn applied the lick.
Big hit, but no underneath coverage. I mean, this is blown coverage, in my opinion, by Air Force. They let the man get inside, no underneath. It looked like a zone, one of the rare times they'll play zone, and they got exploited.
You know, Peck, a high ankle sprain a couple of weeks ago late in the game against San Diego State, missed last week. He is back this week. Here's a pass, Hardaway, tackled in the flat at the 25 by Marquise Griffin.
That was a whale of a throw by Chasen Virgil. I mean, he threw a dime, a frozen rope, however you want to talk about it, spun it, all those things. That was a dime, no doubt. And the timing, the ball's coming out quicker from Virgil. He's playing with a lot more confidence here tonight.
2nd and short, 2nd and 3 in motion. Tight end Jared Rice. Here's the pitch.
Throw back.
Here's Griffin. Now Virgil inside the 20 and pushed out of bounds by Vereen at the 16. Well, Trayvon Green, after the backwards pass, the forward pass to Virgil.
Yeah, a little razzle-dazzle here. Perfect area of the field to go ahead and try something like that. Just a pitch, looked like an innocent sweep. Throw it back to Virgil and let him run a little bit in open space.
9-yard gain. First down, Bulldogs.
Been really impressed with the play calling thus far tonight from Eric Keyshaw.
Green bumped off one tackler and able to advance forward to the 12. Lachlan Deeks with the tackle.
I haven't seen as much blitz. I'm telling you, Air Force blitzed 80% of the time last week against Hawaii and was very successful with it. Haven't seen near much of that tonight. They might have to start dialing it up, in particular in this area of the field.
Well, Fresno State already leading 14-0. We're midway through this second quarter, and here they are again, knocking on the door with a 2nd and 6 from the 12 of Air Force. James needs a stack of white shirts there, including Trey Alexander.
Alexander was in there, Samuel Byers as well, and that was a triple option play. They had the motion man come around. He was going to be the pitch guy, but the read for Virgil, at least in his mind, was to hand it off.
So that lost and makes it a 3rd down and a long 5.
You got stoppage of play here. I think it's a timeout
Called by the Bulldogs. So they use their first timeout of this first half with 6:29 to play in half number 1.
By Heineken, open your world, enjoy responsibly. And Chevrolet, more 2016 J.D. Power Dependability Awards than any other brand.
Tonight, our salute to the services in Fresno State. And as part of our backstage pass, they unfurled the largest flag they've ever unfurled here at Bulldog Stadium as part of the pregame and the national anthem tonight.
I didn't see one person take a knee. It warms my heart.
Well, after the Fresno State timeout, they have a 3rd down and 5 from the Air Force 11. Virgil caught near the sticks by Johnson. Let's see where they spot him.
Johnson's got flypaper hands. You get that ball in his area, and he's going to latch onto it. Looks like he's just a few inches shy. They need to make it, it looks like, to the 6-yard line. And the football that marked is just outside the 6. So they're going to go for it on 4th and short.
4th and about the nose of the football. They motion James out of the backfield. Virgil keeping, trying to get forward. And it looks like he will get it to the 5 and enough for the first down. It'll be 1st and goal, Fresno State.
Little wedge action by that offensive line. You had the guards, St. Andrew and Hughes, rub shoulders with Aaron Mitchell and get enough push to where I believe they converted it.
So Virgil has enough for the first down.
Look at Virgil get a little bit emotional out there. It's great to see the way that he has grown. And from the film I watched and the way he's playing tonight, it's night and day. And they go the way Virgil goes. And so far tonight, the going's pretty good.
And he's just one element of that relentless attitude, I think, that interim head coach Eric Keyshaw practiced.
He said, he must have said it half a dozen times when we talked to him about that. That was his main message to this football team. They need relentless effort.
Here's Virgil running wide now. Upended and stapled down at the 9 by Brody Hicks, the free safety, and a loss of 3.
That's one of your highlight reel type tackles. I mean, this is how you do it. If you're going to instruct someone how to make a tackle, you get that shoulder in the midsection, you drive, and you explode up and through it, lift, put him right on his back. I like to see that. You don't see it like that very often, but that's how they draw it up.
Hicks, a senior from right there in Colorado Springs.
Corner blitz.
Virgil to the end zone, off the hands of Jordan in the air, and intercepted. And guess who it was? Brody Hicks. He made the big hit on the previous play, bringing down Virgil, and now on the deflection, an interception, and that's a huge play array for Air Force.
Yeah, and Hicks said, no, you don't. Yeah, he made the big hit. Now he makes the pick on a deflection. And the fullback went the wrong way. And that's not a bad throw necessarily. I would call it more of a bad break for the quarterback chasing Virgil, and a great break for Hicks.
It looked like Fresno State was marching for a third touchdown, but the pick ends that drive. On the quarterback, Virgil, and then the interception, which gives him his team-leading third pick of the year, Ray. But he got a little help from the Steelhammer.
That's right, aptly named Weston Steelhammer. He's got the coverage. Now, the underneath coverage also from Healy forced that ball to be thrown a little bit late. And so it was a combined team defensive deal that led to the pick and the great reaction from Hicks, finding the football, laying out, and making that interception.
Weston Steelhammer, Ray, is a guy that NFL scouts are taking a look at. We don't see that a whole lot out of the Air Force Academy, but he and Robinette on the other side being looked at closely.
Two good ball players. Steelhammer had a bad shoulder that he played through last year, healthier this year, and you can see the impact he makes.
Well, here's Romine to throw on first down and badly underthrows Robinette.
Yeah, that was ugly. I mean, I didn't think his feet were that off in that game, but I do think he pressed a little bit, tried to overthrow it, almost like aimed it rather than just let it fly. And Romine, his confidence might be a little bit shaky right now. He has not played particularly well the last several ball games.
Straight ahead for the fullback, Shane Davern. We'll see how Air Force responds here, Ray, because they were pretty close to falling down 3 scores in this football game until that interception, and they have not done a whole lot offensively.
No, I mean, I'm a little surprised by the lack of any type of explosive plays, really, from this Air Force offense.
And they're already looking at a 3rd down and 7. Romine fakes the pitch, looking the other way, and misses Robinette. Not on the same page there, and after the pick, the Air Force offense a 3 and out.
Boy, and he had Tyler Williams. Had he waited and went to his second read, Williams was coming wide open over the middle, and Romine pressed it and pushed it to the outside a little quick.
Well, we know what happened the last time Steve Brosi punted. They ran into him, and it took him a while to get up off the turf, but he eventually did.
Looks like he's made a nice recovery.
Yes, he's doing well.
Yeah.
They do not come after him this time, and he boots one at the 38, dropped by Glass as the defender and the ball got there right about the same time, but Glass jumps back on top of it. And Fresno State will have it at their own 38 after a 39-yard punt from Brosi. Bulldogs have the 14-0 lead over Air Force. Well, we're calling it Big Saturday because we have 3 Big 10 games for you, all with college football playoff implications at noon Eastern. Number 2 Michigan taking on Michigan State for the Paul Bunyan Trophy. Then at 3:30, Northwestern takes on number 6 Ohio State. And at 7th-ranked Nebraska, 11th-ranked Wisconsin from Camp Randall. All 3 games on ESPN. And they also stream live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN.
Spartans have beaten the Wolverines 7 out of the last 8. Might be time to duck and hide. Huh?
Since Mike Hart, the old running back, called him little brother.
Yeah. Big brother's gotten bigger.
Speaking of big, Dontel James with the run up to the 45.
This Air Force defense has been out on the field
a lot
not in the game, in the early on, but in the second quarter. They've been out there, and they'll wear down. That's one of the issues with the Air Force Academy is the depth that they have.
There's 7 starters out tonight for Air Force, 5 on the defensive side. This is Jordan. Let's see where they spot him. Maybe just about a yard short of the first down. Lachlan Deeks, nose tackle, senior for Air Force, ran him down.
And you think about it, missing 5 starters on defense, that's almost half your defense. So your depth gets severely tested because, when guys need a blow, because we see it so much. And that's one thing I would actually be doing if I'm Fresno. I'd run some tempo on them. I'd wear them out, and I'd make them bring in those substitutes and see how you match up against them.
On 3rd and 1, give to James, who'll get just enough, it appears. Haji Dunn with the tackle.
Really nice cut by James. That thing was all bottled up to the right side where it was intended to go. His vision, he saw a little crack on the left side and made that cut to get up in there.
So first down right near midfield. Give to James again. Gets a nice head of steam. Met at the 45-yard line by Claude Alexander for a gain of 5.
Was that a tempo play?
I think we saw our first tempo.
I think we have our first tempo play.
I thought we'd see a lot more of that tonight.
I did too, especially with the success that the Bulldogs had last week against Utah State with it.
Justin Rice coming in now and was going to get the carry, it appeared, but a flag at the snap.
We all know what that means. Generally a false start.
Offense, number 78. 5-yard penalty, second down.
Second time tonight, David Patterson's been caught on that. And that's one of the things that this team, I think, can clean up and become much better at is just the pre-snap penalties. And it seems like they get something going and one guy or another goes off the air and everybody's got to move back. And if they can eliminate those things, because they have too many of them, it really helped this offense out along with the young quarterback. We got Justin Rice in there at tailback this time. It's the 4th pre-snap penalty against the Bulldogs.
Virgil taking a deep shot, and it's picked off. Brody Hicks is second of the night, returning for Air Force up near midfield.
That is just a poor decision by Chasen Virgil. He's got to see that safety. There was a deep safety right in the middle. So if you're going to make that throw, you better get the football outside to the sideline. You see the safety in the middle at the top of your screen. And Virgil's got to see that, and he's got to throw this football out to the edge. Otherwise, that safety's going to be able to go over there and just play center field, which is exactly what Hicks did. Little stutter go move. I mean, it was there. But you got to get that ball to the outside.
So 4th interception for Hicks, his 2nd of the night. And Air Force, with all 3 of their timeouts, have a first down at their own 49, trailing by 14.
Minute 46 to try and get some points.
Kept. Romine. Looked like he wanted to pitch that a time or two, but just kept hanging on to it and runs for close to 6 yards.
Well, Fresno is loading up to stop the dive, and they're taking away the pitch, and they're telling Romine, go ahead and run it.
He will give it up this time. Straight ahead. Davern stopped by OKK. It's going to bring up a 3rd and about 3.
And Air Force is in no real big hurry. Now, if they convert here, then you'll see them go fast.
Davern has the first down. We'll corral him at the 38. Stratton Brown does so. Stop the clock to move the chains with 1:01 left.
Yeah, the Bulldogs committed to outside. They thought the ball was going to come outside. Nice read and a nice play call to stick it up in the middle with Davern.
This is Jacoby Owens to about the 33, wrapped up by Jeff Camilli.
You're going to have to start using some timeouts here, and they do.
Air Force takes its first time out of the half. 30 seconds.
One of the issues with an option football team, Mark, is you just don't throw the football that often. And so when you get in a situation of 2 minutes, it becomes a trouble.
Well, coming up on the Outback Steakhouse halftime report with Chris Cotter and Joey Galloway. Take a look at top 10 upset alert. And, of course, got to give it to the Bear for Bear necessities coming up at the half. And right now, Air Force head coach Troy Calhoun trying to get his team on the board offensively. This is a team that started 4-0, had a win over Navy back on October 1st.
Huge win.
To go to 4-0, and then a loss at Wyoming, loss to New Mexico, and a loss to Hawaii in double overtime last week in Colorado Springs. It ended a 15-game home winning streak for Air Force. So they're trying to avoid a 4th straight loss.
And that was a tough one because they had a chip shot field goal to win that at the end before it went into overtime. Those are hard to overcome sometimes.
Romine on 2nd down, fires wide open. Ronald Cleveland inside the 5 to the end zone. Touchdown, Air Force.
Great play by Cleveland, finding the end zone afterwards, making a couple of guys miss. But I'm more impressed with Romine and his composure in the pocket to find his back, Cleveland, who sneaks out. And you see he's a wing back, and they lose those guys sometimes. And he just got it off as the pressure went there. Just saw it, got it in there, make a couple guys miss, and Air Force capitalizes.
Well, for Cleveland, that's just his 4th catch of the season, Ray, but his 3rd touchdown catch. He makes it count.
And that's the thing. He doesn't get a lot of targets. Defenses don't pay a lot of attention to him. You see, he was the wingback to the right. He ran a wheel route and got behind the coverage attempt by the linebacker, and away he went. That was James Bailey, who had him but lost him. He got his eyes caught in the backfield. You see Bailey's on him right there. Kept going. Romine saw it just in time, threw the strike, and then it was the Ronald Cleveland show after that. Speaking of Cleveland.
The Cleveland show, yes. And for Romine, his 10th touchdown pass of the season.
And for the Indians, a 1-0 victory tonight to go up 2-1 on the Cubs.
Yeah, so for those of you that may have been watching baseball, we welcome you to the West Coast, Fresno, California on this Friday night, Mountain West Conference, where Air Force has taken advantage of Fresno State's second turnover of the night and put their first points on the board. Fresno State playing their first game since Tim DeRuyter let go as head coach on Sunday.
And they played a good first half, Mark, but it fell apart at the end here. Air Force is hanging around, and it's really the Hicks show. I mean, his 2 picks, one of them stopped a sure touchdown, and the next one led to the Air Force touchdown.
Eric Keesaw, the interim head coach, also the offensive coordinator, making his debut as a head coach. Troy Calhoun, his 10th year at the Air Force Academy. Of course, he played as well at Air Force.
Coach Keesaw has got to be happy with the relentless effort that he preached to his football team all week. I've been impressed with the way they've run around and gotten after things thus far.
Just 36 seconds left in this half, and they'll hand it off. Running to the edge, Justin Rice, the true freshman. Well, pretty big turn of events if indeed it stays this score here to the half, Ray, because
it will. I don't think they'll snap again.
Yeah, Fresno State looked a couple of possessions ago like they were about to roll in for a 3-touchdown lead, and it's going to be a 1-score game, it appears, going into the half.
Big difference between those 2 scenarios, no doubt. And again, you got to give the credit to the defense. Steelhammer knocking the ball up in the air. Hicks makes the first interception, thwarting a touchdown drive. And then a Hicks interception led to the Air Force touchdown. Could put us where we're at right now.
But interim head coach Eric Keesaw, in his head coaching debut, goes to the locker room. His team does have a 7-point lead.
And they're being held up. They got to let Air Force off first, as both teams have to travel a little bit to get to their locker rooms here at halftime.
So Fresno State has the 14-7 lead over Air Force. Well, coming up after the break, we'll send it to the studio for the Outback Steakhouse halftime report with Chris. After the break, we'll send it to the studio for the Outback Steakhouse halftime report with Chris Cotter and Joey Galloway. Just about ready to start the second half from Bulldog Stadium in Fresno, California. The Bulldogs leading Air Force 14-7, along with former collegiate and NFL linebacker Ray Bentley. I'm Mark Neely. Fresno State jumped out to the 14-0 lead as Chasen Virgil, the quarterback for Fresno State, got off to a hot start.
He did, and he threw some really nice passes early on, including a deep ball for a touchdown to Keyshawn Johnson, and this one was one of his better throws. Then he makes a really nice throw to the outside on a fade route. Johnson, outstanding job adjusting to it and getting that foot down. And then things got a little different as Air Force, they battened down the hatches. Hicks with his first interception thwarting a touchdown. Then on a deep shot, he's able to make the play from that middle safety position, center fielder. He got excited, got his guys going, and of course they respond on offense to get the only touchdown of the half for Air Force. A throw from Romine to Ronald Cleveland, who does a little work afterwards, and that gets us to 14-7.
The 2 TDs and the 2 picks from the redshirt freshman Virgil for Fresno State. Hicks had the 2 picks, so he now has 4 on the season. And Romine, just kind of Air Force football as far as the passing game. Ray going 4 of 7, 87 yards in the TD pass.
Right, and I really think he needs to take more shots down to Jalen Robinette in the second half. And I've been impressed with Eric Keesaw in the way his football team has come out to play. I have not seen any lack of relentlessness, which is what he wanted. Relentless effort from his football team. I haven't seen any loafing. I haven't seen bad body language. This group has apparently responded to Coach Keesaw in his first week as the head man here at Fresno State.
His first head coaching job. It's the interim job, but this is the first game he's ever been the head coach at any level. And Tim DeRuiter, who had been the head coach here at Fresno State for 4+ seasons, was let go on Sunday of this week. So Keesaw, who was the offensive coordinator, still has that role, but also the responsibility as he is the interim head coach.
Yeah, and we asked him, did they tell you this is a debut or a interview for this job? And he said, not in so many words, but it was intimated, and that's how he's taken it. He said he's been preparing for the last 5-6 years on what he would do when he got his chance. Well, he's gotten his chance right now, and the first half, any indication, he's the man.
He would like to be a full-time head coach somewhere. Maybe it'll be at Fresno State. Somebody he's worked with in the past, Jeff Tedford, is a name that's being bandied around quite a bit here in Fresno.
Heard some Lane Kiffin as well.
Yes. That's scooped up. McVay up near the 28-yard line, so that's where the Air Force Academy will begin.
Interesting to see, Mark, what will Air Force do? What adjustments will they make? They've been forced to have the quarterback carry the football. Romine, they're giving him on the option reads, they're taking away the dive, they're taking away the pitch, and they're telling Romine, go ahead, see if you can beat us. Romine 8 carries, the leading ball carrier for Air Force, for 27 yards in the first half.
Romine hands it off to Jacoby Owens straight ahead. It'll be a first down after a gain of 11, wrapped up by Tobina Okeke.
And James Roast, the right tackle, did a great job of getting his man on the ground, and that allowed the cutback lane.
Owens again, but this time Robert Stanley hits him for a gain of just a couple.
Stanley made several plays earlier in the ball game. Haven't seen much from him of late, but he's got to be a big factor in the middle in taking away those inside runs.
Stanley, whose brother Ronnie was an All-American offensive lineman at Notre Dame and now in the NFL with the Baltimore Ravens. It's up near the 45. Malik Forrester with the tackle.
Forrester did a great job of getting all 320 pounds of girth that he has up into that gap. He beat the left guard, Colin Sandor, to make the penetration and make the tackle.
Five and 9 on third down tonight. Cleveland in motion. Romine pitches. McVay avoids one tackler, and he'll have the first down up near midfield.
Taekwon Glass, the corner, he had beaten the blocker and had a shot to make that play, but the back just ran right past him. And this is where they want that pitch to end up, to the edge. Again, I still think it's an early pitch. It's too early to make that pitch. You want to force those guys that are in the alley to stay with you longer as you're the quarterback, so they can't play both quarterback and pitch.
Owens looking, finds a little crease to get up to the 45. Deshaun Potts, the safety, came up to make the tackle.
You know, since Parker Wilson fumbled earlier in the ball game, haven't seen him in there too much. They've moved Jacoby Owens, who is usually one of the wing backs. They put him at fullback.
Cleveland motions out. Romine pitches to Jacoby Owens. Owens runs to the first down and got hit hard right as he got to the marker at about the 39-yard line. Stratton Brown and Taekwon Glass running bringing him down.
Excuse me, Mark. Tim McVeigh makes a great cut block on the edge, and that's what opens this thing up. Watch 33 throw down and get his man right on the ground. He just blocked his guy, Deshaun Potts.
Up near another first down for Jacoby Owens, who's running well on this drive for Air Force, and he's fired up.
Yeah, you can see it in his eyes, his body language. To me, you feed that horse.
Some tempo for the Academy. They're right back to the line. Hand off again, give to Owens, but then he is pulled down by Jeff Camilli, one of the linebackers.
Great job of filling it by Camilli. You know, this is assignment football. There is a Bulldog down on the field right now. But assignment football, it's really tough on a middle linebacker because generally being in the middle, you have access to get to every single play. Well, you know, all of a sudden now they're saying, all right, you only take this. That's hard for a middle linebacker.
That's Robert Stanley, one of the inside linebackers for Fresno State, slow to get up. He's been battling a knee injury this year. He's come back from that. And good to see him up under his own power, walking off the field.
Otukolo is the guy who would come in, number 10. Let's see if we can find out what happened. It looks like Stanley's going to get the leg hit there. And boy, when you get hit on the outside of your leg and it stretches that medial collateral ligament on the inside, I've had those, and that's a painful issue. Hopefully he's okay.
2nd and 8 for the Falcons from the 27 of Fresno State.
Putting together a nice little drive here.
They are. This is the first possession of the second half. Play fake. Romine throws to McVeigh. McVeigh inside the 20. He'll have a first down. Marked out at about the 17. Taekwon Glass and Okeke with the tackle.
One thing the option will do to you is lull you to sleep. Run. All of a sudden, boom, they're on the edge and they're throwing the football.
Davern, the fullback.
Great cut.
And he's down to the 10. It's a 7-yard run for Shane Davern.
He did a great job, and I mentioned this earlier, Mark, that inside veer. The fullback reads the center's butt, basically, and he'll choose which cheek to go to based on what he sees, and that was a backside cheek shot there.
That is breaking it down, partner.
Yeah.
Kept by Romine. And he's going to be close to the first down marker at about the 7.
Yeah, that's that follow play that I talked about earlier. And there's no better guy to follow than Shane Davern, that 6 foot, 240-pound fullback. You get him blasting up into the hole and get right behind him, and you can make some hay. They're going to measure this one, it looks like.
Well, Fresno State on the touchdown receptions by Keyshawn Johnson were up 14-0, and they were marching for a possible third score.
Dominating early. Air Force caught fire. The interceptions by Hicks set up their score going into halftime.
Short. About the length of the football.
They got a nice 10-play drive going right now. It's covered, actually 11 plays. It's covered 64 yards.
11 plays on this drive, and 10 of them have been on the ground. So a 3rd and 1, 3rd and about the length of the football upcoming for Air Force. These teams last year played in Colorado Springs. Fresno State, like tonight, scored the game's first 14 points. But last year, Air Force scored 42 unanswered points to win that game 42-14. Right now, they're trying to go in for the tying score here early in this second half.
And you got to give it to Davern and let him blast up in there.
Indeed, that's the case. Lowers his shoulder and will have the first down, but where the first contact occurred, Ray, he was behind the line.
Okeke was not Okeke on that one. He got up inside there, and he was a little off balance, and Davern just loaded up on him. That's a big hit from a big man right there. When you see a head snap back like that, that's like a bus accident.
A 1st and goal, Air Force. Ball just outside the 5. Davern again. This time wrapped up from just a yard or two to the 4.
Another play they like down in this area, especially after running the fullback inside a couple of times, is that follow, where obviously the defense is thinking fullback. You give a good ride, a good fake, and then get up in behind them, and a lot of times that'll open up for you. And the other thing here on second down, I would not be afraid to take a shot to Jalen Robinette and let him out jump somebody for the football.
Robinette, bottom of the formation on the left side.
See the fullback creeping up, and if he moves up like that, usually it means he's not getting the ball.
Kept by Romine, but a flag at the snap.
They take too long?
It might have. The play clock sitting at 0.
Delay game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
And that was the follow I was talking about, where you fed him a lot of fullback. Now feed it to him again, but have an empty spoon. Let that quarterback take it. Of course, the penalty will change that scenario.
So that pushes him back to the 9, where it's second and goal.
Now might be the time to try to hit Robinette at the top of the screen on a fade. He's got one-on-one coverage.
With Taekwon Glass, but the carry, Davern hit right near the line of scrimmage. Rotocolo hitting the tackle after a gain of a yard or two there.
Played it rather conservatively. You got big number 92 in there, Wyatt McBee, playing as an extra defensive lineman down in this territory, and he had some good penetration as well.
So it's third and goal from the 8. Romine going for Robinette, a battle, and he reaches up, had it for a moment, but it drops incomplete.
Great handwork by Taekwon Glass. They tell you if you can't make a play on the ball, then get your hands up and split your hands between the receiver's hands. And that's exactly what Glass did after some hand fighting for position. You see him, a lot of leaning and pushing and letting them play ball, but watch the hand right there. The right roundhouse from Taekwon Glass knocked it out.
Well, Luke Strabel missed from 27 yards earlier. And this one he knocks through, and Strabel, who had hit a Mountain West Conference 22 consecutive field goals before missing at the end of regulation last week, makes it a 4-point game 6 minutes into the second half. Lead, but Air Force has come back to make it a 14-10 game with 9:01 to play in the third quarter. This Mountain West Conference matchup. Eric Kiesau on his debut as the interim head coach here at Fresno State.
Battling wits with Troy Calhoun, 10 years at Air Force. And Air Force, they're not going to lose their composure. They're not going to panic. This is a team that has a record 32 seniors. And that gives you a lot of confidence as a coach.
Jameer Jordan from just outside the goal line. Hit at the 22. Falls forward to about the 24-yard line. Well, celebrating its 12th year sponsoring the Good Hands Field Goal Nets, All-State makes contributions to participating universities' general scholarship funds for each field goal and extra point kicked. And to date, All-State has contributed millions in scholarship funds. The Strabel field goal at the end of that last drive for Air Force made it 14-10. By the way, Jacoby Owens on that last drive has become all alone in 5th place in all-time career rushing for Air Force as he passed up Chad Hall for that number 5 spot. Here's the pitch, and this is once again Jameer Jordan runs it up across the 35 to the 37, and a quick first down on this drive for the Bulldogs.
And that's what you call some back at you. You want to run the option, we can run it too. And not only that, get it out to the pitch. And Jordan is explosive. You get him a little bit of space, and that kid can go.
Yeah, last year as a redshirt freshman, he led all Mountain West Conference freshmen in catches with 46. That pass was a little offline and behind. Keyshawn Johnson may have been deflected by Shaquille Vereen.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was that or just an errant throw by Virgil. And I've watched several games of him on film, and every once in a while he'll throw one in the dirt. I mean, it's going all the way to the backstop. There's no chance getting in front of that thing.
It's going to hit the mascot on occasion, too?
Possibly.
Well, second down and 10. Jordan in motion at the snap, and here comes the blitz, and the pass is intercepted. Here's the return. Patrick Healy moves past Virgil. Touchdown, and Air Force leads for the first time tonight after Virgil is picked for a third time.
That's just an egregious error by a young quarterback chasing Virgil. They tried to set up the screen. He did a little flip turn initially, but he threw it blindly. I think he threw that with hope, and that's the worst thing you can do. He fakes it and drops it over there, and his back never really got out. Dontel James trying to get set up for that screen. I mean, Virgil threw it to where he thought he should be, but he never made it out there, and that's a really bad mistake by a young QB and a heads-up play by Healy.
So Healy, a 35-yard pick six, and the point after makes it 17-14. 17 unanswered, Ray.
Yeah, they're coming back. Don't sleep on the Falcons, and they do it here with defense, but it's a mistake by the quarterback. He's going to do the flip turn, going to drop it over to the outside, doesn't see his guy. Healy right where he needs to be, and that's a linebacker's dream, folks. Heading to pay dirt. 17-14, Air Force on top.
AT&T, mobilizing your world. And Infinity, empower the drive.
Yeah, the paratroopers coming in tonight as part of the salute to the armed services here at Bulldog Stadium. And during the half, the Fresno State Band honored the Army, Marines, Navy, and lastly, the United States Air Force, their opponent tonight.
Coast Guard thrown in there.
Yeah.
Got them all.
And right now, Air Force, 17 unanswered points.
You know, they talked to us, Coach Calhoun did, about wanting to fast start. They didn't start fast here tonight. However, they have picked it up and have really turned this game around in the last quarter and a half.
Keyshawn Johnson from the 2 to the edge, the 30, brought down at the 32. Well, we're calling it Big Saturday because we have 3 Big Ten games for you, all with college football playoff implications. Begins at noon Eastern. Number 2 Michigan against Michigan State for the Paul Bunyan Trophy in East Lansing. Then at 3:30, Northwestern taking on 6th-ranked Ohio State. Then at 7, Nebraska-Wisconsin from Cap Randall. And all 3 games on ESPN and also streaming live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN.
Think the Buckeyes will be ready to play this week?
Yeah, a rare loss for Urban Meyer's squad. Not much there.
Healy again.
Taking the tackle and loss of a yard.
Yeah, he scores touchdowns, he intercepts passes, and he tackles people. I kind of like him. And, he's a backup. Amazingly, they're missing 3 out of their starting 4 linebackers here, but they've turned it up with the takeaways really have been the issue, the big issue for him.
Virgil almost picked again.
Right through the hands of Trey Alexander. I mean, that could have been the 4th interception, and so far points off of interceptions, you see that's where it's happening. 3 takeaways by the Air Force defense has led to all but 3 of their points. And that's something that both coaches addressed. Coach Calhoun said, hey, we got to get turnovers, and Coach Keesaw said, we can't turn it over.
4 receivers for Virgil on 3rd and 11.
Blitz.
Here it comes, picked up, throw, caught, first down. Slung down at the 44 is Johnson.
Now that's a really good answer for chasing Virgil. After making the egregious error on that screen pass, throwing the interception, takes a 3rd and 11, gets forced out of the pocket, flushed a little bit, but shows the athleticism and the arm talent by whipping one out there and converting.
On 3rd and 11, they pick up 14. First down from their 44. Jordan in motion. Handoff straight ahead. We're just a yard for James. Stopped by Patrick Healy once again.
Yeah, Healy might be playing himself into a starting role. I know Grant Ross, they like him a lot. He's out with a bit of a knee injury. But they've got some depth now inside as Healy has really risen his game up and Alexander's played well.
Here's James running right, cuts it back, and stopped at the 49 for about 4.
Alexander, the other backup linebacker. filling in nicely for the injured Jack Floor. And it's interesting to me, Mark, you know, when we talked to Coach Calhoun, he told us about the rigors of the first couple years at the Air Force Academy. That's why generally they play a lot of juniors and seniors. They don't redshirt guys. Rarely, I should say. So for them to play with a senior-laden team, it helps in a lot of ways.
He finds Keyshawn Johnson diving for the pylon. Touchdown. Well, a Jekyll and Hyde drive there for Chase and Virgil. And the good Virgil shows up to find Johnson for a third time tonight.
Nice pass again. He got air underneath it, let his receiver run under it. Steelhammer with the coverage. He cheated with his eyes. He took a look back, and that's what allowed the separation from Johnson. And you can see just a foot race at the end. Steelhammer, he laid out, but he was late because of the fact that he got his eyes around the bad way.
And he hit the pylon with the football.
That's good, then.
And that's
the touchdown counts. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct on the scoring team, number 3, removed his helmet. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
Not a very smart decision by Johnson. Now, I thought he removed it once he was off the field on the sideline, which is perfectly legal.
Unsportsmanlike conduct foul.
But it was probably too close after the celebration, and Coach Keesaw over there saying, great play, but we can't do that.
Yeah, 7 catches tonight, 3 touchdown catches for Johnson, who came in with 3 TD catches total on the year.
No doubt he's one of the top receivers in the Mountain West.
So Johnson, touchdown catches of 2 yards, 36, and now one from 52.
And a great answer from Chase and Virgil, the young redshirt freshman quarterback.
So Fresno State back in front.
A little seesaw battle coming up here, and are we getting good Virgil or bad Virgil? That's the question. It was good Virgil this time as he found Johnson. Steelhammer steals a peek. Johnson steals 6.
Keyshawn Johnson capping off a 52-yard touchdown. And then Ray, he
capped it off all right by taking his cap off, and that's illegal. You can't do that. And his teammates come over. You can see right here, put it back on. So he puts it back on, but it was too late. And the penalty flag is thrown. It's a good call.
So as a result, Nick Van Valkenburg will have to kick off from the Fresno State 20. And you watch out for Tim McVeigh, who has a 99-yard kickoff return for touchdown this year against Georgia State. Always deadly on special teams. And he's going to take it from the 20. Avoids a tackler at the 30, but then brought down at the 33-yard line. A 13-yard return for McVeigh. Well, what a game this one should be with big-time college football playoff implications. It's undefeated to number 3 Clemson battling number 12 Florida State at Doak Campbell Stadium on Saturday. It's 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ABC, and also streaming live on the ESPN app. And watch ESPN. Will Clemson stay unbeaten?
That is always a Donnybrook. I love the intensity that both those teams bring when they play each other. Air
Force begins from their own 33, now trailing 21-17 after they had scored 17 unanswered points. Romine keeps wrapped up with just a yard or 2 by Stratton Brown.
Play by Brown of getting off the block. Tim McVeigh had him initially, but he fought his way off the block and was able to make the tackle.
Lorenzo Ward, Fresno State defensive coordinator, told us yesterday, Rays, Romine are
actually that's the center. Vale, he's going over to get a couple of snaps with the backup quarterback, Antoine Worthman, as Romine struggling to get to his feet. So it's very, you got to get that backup quarterback, Worthman, get him a couple snaps because he's going to have to play at least one play. Depending on Romine's situation, can he shake it off and get back in there after one? Possibly. We'll see what happens. But regardless, you got to get Worthman ready.
working on that left ankle area of Nate Romine.
Check and see if you can see his ankle to the right, a big number 77, and I don't see a real twist necessarily, although, yeah, you know what? Yeah, there's another guy underneath that he kind of landed on.
So Romine
walking a little gingerly.
Yes, he is.
Sometimes those things will, you know, if it's like just an impact, a bruise type situation, contusion, you can shake that off. If you get into the more serious deal, then that ain't going to happen. Worthman has one pass on the year.
A touchdown.
Not too bad, right? 1 for 1, 17-yard TD. Sophomore. See how he operates this offense while Romine gets attended to on the sideline. Looks like he's trying to walk it off, but he's got some pain going.
So Arion Worthman now in at quarterback. On 2nd down and 8. He's going to keep it. Bounce off one tackler, and he will have that first down. How about that for Worthman?
Yeah, he ran Mike Bell, the safety, right over. And I tell you what, it's a little different game with Worthman in there. Now you got some real quicks at quarterback.
Ran out of his left shoe.
It's all right. You get it tied up, and they'll roll. They got plenty of time on the play clock, 20-plus seconds left.
So first down Falcons up to their 44.
If Worthman jumped into a phone booth there.
Worthman keeping, avoids one tackler, and then rides another one all the way near the marker. That was Stratton Brown who got the ride. It's only been 2 plays, Ray, but Falcons fans have to like what they've seen from Worthman.
I'm very impressed with the way he runs this option. He's a serious threat running the football, whereas Romine, not so much. He has the looks where he could go the distance on any given play. Question is, can he throw the football?
Hands it off to Jacoby Owens, who will get the first down. Owens, 41.
Owens has stepped in at that fullback position today and done a great job. I mean, the plan was to have Parker Wilson, the youngster, split time with Davern, but that didn't work out so well. He fumbled the football early, and so they moved Owens in there, and it's been a game changer.
And no DJ Johnson tonight. He's out with a hamstring injury. They hope he'll be back next week. Worthman going to throw for the first time, and he holds it too long. He's sacked by Jeff Camilli back near midfield.
And Camilli actually had coverage on the back, so the back stayed in to protect. He turns it into what we call a green dog. So he's going to come, and then he's got the coverage, no one to cover, no worries there, so he's an extra added blitzer, and Worthman held the ball just too long.
A loss is 7, back to the 49-yard line of Fresno State. So 2nd and, call it 16. Worthman keeping, and a hard hit at the 45 by Trent Sechting.
And Sechting was at the low guy, and Bailey came high, and Worthman got welcome to the ball game.
It's going to bring up a 3rd down and 12.
I'm going to call this play. I'm either going to get Worthman on the edge, or let's see if he can throw one down the field to Robinette, who's at the bottom of the screen.
Ellis playing off Robinette.
I would too.
Worthman keeping it, wrapped up inside the 40 by Justin Green.
And that'll bring up about a 4th and 7 here, so you have to punt the football here. It's just too much to go. Too long for a field goal. If it was 4th and 5, maybe take a shot at it, but your quarterback's banged up. Punt the football and play some defense.
So Steve Brosi comes on.
Oh boy.
And that one,
that's a shank,
is going to be down right near the 20. That's a rare miss hit for Steve Brosi. He's been one of the top punters in the conference, especially in recent games. That only will be a 20-yard punt.
home of the New Year's Six and the college football playoff.
Well, we got the first standings coming up, next Tuesday?
Right. Well, I got my standings right now.
Why don't you share that with us?
I'm going to say Alabama #1, going out on a limb here.
Yeah.
But I got Michigan 2, Clemson 3, and Louisville 4. Now, it's early. I'm not counting Washington out, Ohio State out, or some of the other teams that are up in there. But to me, that's where it's at as we stand. Louisville's a pretty good football team.
James, only a yard or so.
And, just to continue a little bit, Mark, you talk about matchups and who would have the best chance to beat an Alabama?
A lot of folks think Louisville.
Yeah, and I agree because of the explosiveness of that offense. Now, I give Michigan a chance because of that defense they play, but that would be a whale of a ball game to watch. Clemson, I don't know. They got some magic to them. It's going to be fun to watch it.
Handoff, James. Again, only about a yard. Patrick Healy coming up to make the hit.
Air Force talked to us yesterday. Steve Russ, their excellent defensive coordinator, and he said the #1 thing we have to do is stop the run. Boy, have they done that tonight. Just 49 rushing yards for Fresno State, and they've held Dontel James to 25 yards on 16 carries.
And a 3rd down and 8 for the Bulldogs. Virgil puts it up and out of reach of Delvon Hardaway, and that's a very quick 3 and out for the Fresno State offense with just 1:44 left in the 3rd quarter.
And Virgil, he pulled out of that throw because the pressure was coming. Watch 47, Claude Alexander, free on the blitz, and that's why that pass was errant, because Virgil was protecting himself.
Blake Kusick on to punt, with Ronald Cleveland back at the 40 of Air Force. He's coming up to make a fair catch at the 47. So Air Force will have good starting field position near midfield, trailing it by 4 late here in this 3rd quarter.
And we'll see who comes out at quarterback. They lost Romine in that last drive. Don't know if he was able to shake that thing off, but they also found Worthman as another very potent weapon running from the quarterback position. He had 5 carries for 20 yards in that first series.
And it's going to be Worthman. Air Force trying to stamp a 3-game losing streak. Fresno State trying to stamp a 6-game losing skid in this, the first game for interim head coach Eric Kiesau.
Kind of a broken wishbone look in the backfield.
Worthman will pitch. Williams down the sideline, and a 1st down inside the 40. They'll mark him out at the 37.
Taekwon Glass able to help make the tackle over there along with Stratton Brown. But here's what happens when the quarterback is such a running threat like that. That opens up the pitch, because now you got more guys worried about getting to that quarterback. So it gives this offense new life.
It was a 17-yard run for Tyler Williams. This one will go for about 4. Tackle for Camille.
Mix in a little fullback run every once in a while, keeping him honest.
Look who's back, though. Parker Wilson on that carry.
Yep, giving him another chance after the early fumble.
Worthman, where he falls forward. He's only going to be a yard and a half from the marker. Stopped by Taekwon Glass.
And Glass was on a corner blitz. I mean, he came flying up in there. He almost overran it. He had to come back. He was kind of caught between the pitch and the quarterback, but made a nice athletic play to get back to Worthman.
3rd and 2. Put Cleveland in motion. Handoff McVay.
He didn't get there.
No, you're right.
However, he's close enough that you might want to go for it. And that was a really high, hard snap. Worthman did a great job just to get his hands on it and protect the team there, and then make the quick handoff. That could have been disastrous. However, I think in this situation, they're going to let the clock run out. No, they're going to take a timeout. Where are we at? No,
I think
that's
you're right.
the end of the 3rd.
Yep.
Okay.
If they'll have a 4th and about 1, And it's been a good football game tonight here in the Mountain West Conference on a Friday night in California. We'll head to the fourth. Fresno State leads it 21-17. View tonight, his team got out to a 14-0 lead. They lead it 21-17 as we head into the fourth quarter from Bulldog Stadium.
And to this point, I've been impressed with the effort from Fresno State. I think they're playing hard for Coach Keesaw. Question is, can they finish?
Air Force trying to snap a 3-game losing skid. Fresno State trying to end in a 6-game skid. And on 4th down and 1 to begin the fourth quarter.
I'll keep it in Worthman's hands.
From the 27 of Fresno State. Worthman will have it and more. Inside the 20 and pulled down at the 18. And Ray, we've not seen Worthman attempt a pass, but everything he has done so far in this option, he has had an extra zip in his step.
No doubt. It just changes the entire game. Now, he did drop back to pass once and got sacked. Held it a little long, but as I'm looking at this, I'm wondering why is not Worthman the starting quarterback here? He's so much more dynamic than Romine. Now, I understand Romine's the older guy and probably has a better understanding of the offense, maybe throws it better, but the threat that you get from running, here we go again. Worthman, he's exciting.
Straight up the middle. The cornerback Ellis was blitzing off the edge, and Worthman just took it straight ahead for 5.
Yeah, they have really put this defense over a barrel right now. And Lorenzo Ward, the defensive coordinator, he's just guessing. He's trying to bring guys from the outside because he thinks that may be where Worthman's going. You got to do something different with a dynamic runner at quarterback like this. And, they forced the quarterback to carry the ball throughout the ball game. Now they don't want to do that.
The plans have changed. He's got some room. There's Worthman inside the 5 and should have a first down where it'll be 1st and goal from the 4.
Put his head down and slammed right into Stratton Brown, too. No fear in Worthman. I like this guy. At the end of this play, he means business. He's going to stick it right up in there. And if you want some, come get some.
Worthman hands off. Davern fighting to about the 2, wrapped up by Jeff Camilli and Trent Sechting.
This is the area of the field where having an effective running quarterback becomes so advantageous because the defense gets packed in. There's more guys in the box area, and you need an extra blocker. So if your quarterback can run, that's what you want down here. And obviously Worthman can run. 9 carries, 46 yards for Arion Worthman.
Worthman looking for the end zone, and he is in. Touchdown, Air Force.
He's a difference maker. I'm calling it right now. Quarterback controversy for the Air Force because this kid changed everything when he came in. His dynamic ability to run, the way he gets after it, sticks it up in there, the obvious toughness. The only question, can he throw the football? But if he runs it like he is right now, you don't need to throw very often. And they're excited about him over there. You get done getting in there. Everyone getting a little love from Worthman.
The 2-yard touchdown run, the point after, and it is 24-21 Air Force here with just about 2 minutes gone in the fourth quarter. Maybe we found a new star here tonight.
I don't know. He's got me excited. He's got everyone else excited on that Air Force sideline. We got a good ball game rolling.
For the injured Nate Romine and rushed 10 times for 48 yards, and that last one a 2-yard touchdown run to give Air Force back the lead here early in this fourth quarter.
Lit a fire under him is what he did. I mean, everyone's got more energy now. You got a kid playing like he is. It opens things up. Everybody's excited, including me.
And Luke Strabel to kick off for Air Force with Jameer Jordan and Keyshawn Johnson back deep for Fresno State. Jordan's going to bring it from a yard deep. Coming to the near side, and he's wrapped up at the 18. Nice tackle.
That's 42, Blake Daly, a backup linebacker who made the special teams play. We got Chason Virgil, who has 3 interceptions in this ball game. One very, costly. They were right down in the scoring zone. This one led to the first Air Force touchdown, both of those by Hicks. Then Healy takes one to the house. You'd think the young freshman, Jason Virgil, would give up. No, sir. He comes back and responds, throwing that bomb for the touchdown. And he has to respond again here as things are getting dicey. 12:55 to go.
Virgil taking a look downfield and then just will throw it away. That play looked a little out of sorts from the get-go.
You know, and that's one thing that I witnessed on film watching them. They are horrible, to use the less than maybe flattering adjective, at the scramble drill. Anytime Virgil breaks the pocket and gets out, his receivers, you know, if you're a deep guy, you come back. If you're a shallow guy, you go deep. If you're away, you come to the quarterback. You got to help him out. His receivers don't help him out. That's the one deficiency in this offense.
Virgil, quick pass. Keyshawn Johnson makes a move to the sideline and with a stiff arm is up to the 24. Giving Latipo that stiff arm.
Just a quick little 5-yard out to get him in a manageable third down was the thought behind that. Now you have to make a play. The worst thing that could happen to Fresno State right now is to make this be a 3-and-out and let that Air Force offense get back on the field because they're red hot.
Going far side and off the hands of Peck, who had some contact. Yep, and there comes the flag now. Marquise Griffin got him before the ball got there.
Oh, man, I want to see this one again because it looked like pretty good timing from Griffin, and then also the flag seemed to come out a little late.
And now another flag has come out.
Someone else probably didn't agree with it.
On the sideline by the Air Force sideline.
A lot of times you get a warning first on those, depending on what magic word you might have said. You might get yourself a 15-yarder.
Well, the timing of that second flag certainly looks like
pass interference. Defense, number 2. That's a spot foul, automatic first down. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct on the assistant coach for Air Force. That's a 15-yard penalty after the enforcement of the first play, first penalty, first down.
That is a rare thing you'll see. Air Force coach losing composure on the sideline. Let's check out the pass interference first. And, you know, with the left hand, he grabbed the arm, and that's where they got him. Everything else was fine except that he grabbed the left arm of Aaron Peck.
So with the penalties, a first down for Fresno State at the 46, a pitch to James, and he's tackled for a loss by Haji Dunn.
He was all done after Haji got there.
Loss of 4.
Dunn did a great job of playing both quarterback and pitch that cat and mouse game, and then the penetration up the field really put the pressure on Virgil.
Virgil shot for Jordan, who makes a great adjustment in the catch at the 26. Weston Steelhammer had the coverage, but that one perfectly placed by the redshirt freshman Virgil.
You said it, brother. That was a great throw. Got a lot of air underneath it, dropped it right down the chimney. You can't, it's almost indefensible. And Steelhammer's in good position. He's got it. He's got his eye on the ball. The pass was just perfect.
Flag at the snap. No play. 29-yard gain.
Offense, number 58. 5-yard penalty, first down.
And they'll give 5 of that back.
Yeah, and that's been a thing for this Fresno State offense. That's their 5th pre-snap penalty tonight so far on offense. They get something going, and then someone goes off the rails, and it's been an issue. And it hasn't been cleaned up under the new coach, Eric Kiesel. At least not yet.
7th penalty tonight against Fresno State for 50 yards.
Yeah, 5 of them pre-snap. Those are just unforgivable.
Virgil for Johnson, who already has 3 tonight, and that hit Latipo in the back. Incomplete.
And Latipo might have gotten away with one right there. He's like, oh, maybe not. But it looked to me like he was there just an instant before the ball, and he never got his head around. But he's playing it well, but he got there early. That's just a missed call. He hit Johnson before the ball got there. Tough break. Sometimes that happens.
2nd and 15 for the Bulldogs. This is James. Nowhere to run with Haji Dunn there, and a loss of a yard.
A little extra pushing and shoving, and Lachlan Deeks, the nose tackle for Air Force, trying to mix it up a little bit, maybe get his fellow teammates riled up. They need to have a stop here, and they're in great position with it. They can even keep them out of field goal range with a decent play here.
Well, Cody Croning had a career-high 49-yarder for Fresno State at Utah State last week, but you need some yardage to even give him a shot there, and that's off the hands. And
pick. He might have got it.
Picked off.
I think he got it.
Air Force ball.
Steelhammer.
Off the hands of Jordan.
The ruling on the
Steelhammer
field
was
was
sitting
an
back there
interception.
thinking the
First
play
down.
was over. All of a sudden, here comes a football on a deflection. He dives, gets the hands underneath, and it's the 4th interception.
Well, that was Peck. It went off his hands.
And right into the hands of Steelhammer.
Oh, wait a minute.
Not.
Yeah,
Maybe not.
Nose of that football.
Sure did. He's trying to sell it, but I don't know. I believe this one will be stopped, and our buddy Don Capra will take a look
The
at it.
ruling on the field
replay
is an
booth.
interception. That plays under further review.
I don't know.
Well,
You know, the ball can actually, it can hit the ground, but you got to have control of it when it does, and that's my issue. Did he actually have control of it? And it's really hard when the tip of the football hits the ground. That tells you don't have control of it in most cases. This is going to be a tough call. Now, again, the ruling on the field is interception.
well, that last look, I think, played more into the Air Force side of things, and maybe it was a catch. But this one,
Hands
that's
underneath.
tough.
It's kind of shaky from that view. We got some other looks we'll show you. This might be the best one. Looks like the hands are under there. Is that
with
tape
that,
on his hand? That to me was a catch.
yes, from that angle.
Now here's the one where you see the tip of the ball hit the ground and hands under it. Ball hits the ground. To me, that's an incomplete pass, which means that the turnover isn't there, but it'll become 4th down, and Fresno will have to punt. So either way, it appears Air Force is going to get the football. Based on the look prior, I'm going to say that this will be overturned and this will be an incomplete pass. To me, it's indisputable that that tip of that football hit the ground and it assisted in the catch for Steelhammer.
Our referee tonight, Mike DeFee.
It's a dicey one. I wouldn't want to be in Don Capral's shoes right now. Or his communicator, D. Anderson, also helping him out with that. And these guys have 21 years of experience up in the replay booth combined, so they've seen a few. They are taking their time on this one, and I
After
certainly
reviewing the
understand why.
play, the ruling on the field stands. Interception, first down.
How about that? Ball didn't move. I mean, he had it in his hands, but the tip did touch the ground. So, but the ball doesn't move. If the ball doesn't move, that's in the favor of the man making the catch. Hand underneath. Hand underneath, and that's the explanation we're getting from Don Capral in the replay booth. The ball did not move. So, well done, gentlemen.
So it is Air Force ball after what now will be the 4th time that Chasen Virgil has been picked off tonight.
He's responded pretty well after those picks.
But Arion Worthman has responded well since coming into the game. He pitches this time, and McVeigh run out at about the 19 by Stratton Brown.
Stratton Brown, he was coming right there. And you know, when we talked to Lorenzo Ward, he singled out Stratton Brown as maybe the most all-in guy that they have. Comes up and spends an hour with him each day going over film. He just loves the way Stratton Brown approaches things.
Worthman keeping.
Close to a first down.
Very close, and I think he'll have it with the spot.
Bailey came in and made that tackle, but you see a marked difference in this offense when you have some serious running talent at that quarterback position, which Worthman possesses.
Ooh, he didn't get a great spot, and it is going to be 3rd down. So 3rd and
Well,
about a half yard.
Last time they had a short yardage, they just ran Worthman right around the edge. Now this looks like quarterback sneak setup.
And he has it.
And the fullback comes in from behind and gives him a nice big push. I believe it was Davern. And he talks to some officials about it, and it's in the rule book. You know, we all know remember the Bush push from way back when. They're not going to call that. What they will call, though, is a pull. If you're in front of a guy trying to pull him forward, then that'll do it. And it was actually, I believe, Parker. It was the fullback giving the push behind, and it was effective.
Jacoby Owens lowers the shoulder and is up to the 29-yard line. Nick Christopher's one of the defensive ends with the tackle.
Yeah, Christopher's was on basically a crash stunt, coming down hard to take away the fullback, and he did so.
15 straight running plays for this Air Force offense. Clock slips under 9 minutes to play in the fourth quarter. Air Force with the ball in the 3-point lead. Worthman keeps. And he's up near the marker again. Tackled by Mike Bell, number 4.
And that is a called play. I mean, that's not option. He's running that fake, and then when he sticks it right up in, following the fullback, that's just quarterback follow. And it's another way to get the ball in Worthman's hands. Now, you said how many? 16 running plays since Worthman's been in?
16 straight, yes.
I'm thinking he probably doesn't throw the ball well. Just making a guess here.
First down for Shane Davern up to the 35. He has only one pass attempt on the year, as you mentioned earlier, which was a 17-yard TD.
That one was a pretty good one, but you know, just by the play calling, you wonder, and you have to assume that now it's not a strength necessarily.
He did drop back to pass one time. You mentioned that also, and he got sacked.
Yeah, and that might defer him. Yeah, just one pass attempt since Worthman's gotten into the ball game. The result was a sack.
Worthman keeping. He's up to the 41.
That's such a hard play to defend, Mark, because you know you get that dive fake. Everyone's going to tackle that fullback, and all of a sudden the quarterback pulls out. There's nobody left in there because everyone else is playing assignment football. You've got someone on the edge for the quarterback. You've got someone outside for the pitch. There's nobody left.
So there's the numbers. Of course, no passing yardage. Hasn't officially attempted a pass, though the one sack.
You're doing pretty good running with it, though.
Yes, he is. Case in point.
Yeah.
All the way down to the 36-yard line of Fresno State.
It makes such a difference for an option offense when you have a quarterback that's explosive like this. And he's got a gas pedal, too. Not only is he elusive, he'll run right by you, which he almost did.
23-yard run. First down at the 36 of the Bulldogs. Handoff, Jacoby Owens.
And that one was not an option. They gave Worthman a play off. They said, okay, you can just hand it off and watch this time, but you're going to run it again pretty soon.
Ray, this may sound a little callous, but perhaps the worst thing that's happened tonight to Lorenzo Ward, the defensive coordinator of Fresno State, and his defense is when Romine got hurt.
No question in my mind about it. Now, granted, the passing game has been non-existent since Worthman came in, but the running game has exploded. Getting close to 300 yards. Air Force at 295 right now.
Worthman keeping. That time knocked down by James Bailey.
And Worthman did not ride the fullback long enough to make that follow effective. You have to sell the fact that fullback's getting the ball, because then guys will commit to tackling him. Then you can keep it and go make a play. That time he didn't ride it long enough, and Bailey saw it immediately, and he tackled the quarterback instead of the fullback.
Well, they're right near the outer limits. Luke Strabel's distance for a field goal, and a lot of those field goals you got to keep in mind comes at the elevation of Colorado Springs.
It don't hurt.
He's going to pitch it, and this is a run for Cleveland, and he'll have the first down all the way down near the 10.
That was a shoestring tackle if I've ever seen one by Juju Hughes. This one looked like it was going to the house to me. They only had one man on the outside. He committed to the quarterback. There's no one home for the pitch. And if Hughes doesn't make that shoestringer right there, that's to the house.
He's going to keep it. And Worthman to the 5 for a gain of 5.
It changes everything when that quarterback is a threat. And it's night and day from when Nate Romine was in there. Because now all of a sudden that quarterback gets to the edge, he's got a chance to go somewhere. Patrick Bellany down on the ground here for Fresno, getting the right leg. When they extend the toe backwards like that, that's what they used to do to me when I had cramps. So hopefully that's all the case is here, and that can be overcome.
So 10 to Bellany will step aside with 5:08 left in this fourth quarter. It's undefeated number 3 Clemson battling number 12 Florida State in front of a hostile Doak Campbell Stadium crowd on Saturday, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ABC, and also streaming live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN.
A little over 6 minutes left in the third quarter when Worthman entered the ball game after Romine got hurt. And in that limited amount of time, Ariane Worthman, 17 carries, 94 yards, and a touchdown. 0 for 0 passing.
Second down and goal from the 5 for the Air Force Academy.
I'd like to see the counter option.
Worthman keeping, wrapped up at the 4 by Stratton Brown. But I know what you're saying, Ray.
Yeah. That would, to me, be a walk-in touchdown because they are flying to wherever Worthman seems to be or appears to be going.
Huge play right here, Ray. I know Fresno State has all 3 of their timeouts and over 4 minutes left, but keeping Air Force out of the end zone right here could be imperative for winning the football game.
Yes. Keep it to a one-score contest.
Third and goal from inside the 5. And now Air Force will use a timeout. Their first of the half.
They were running out of time. The play clock was almost at 0, so they took that timeout. We'll take one too.
With 4:06 to play in a one-score game right now. Well, Nate Romine was injured with about 6 minutes left in the third quarter for Air Force. Would look like an ankle injury. Since then, Ariane Worthman has come in, run 29 plays, 28 have been runs.
He's almost got 100 yards.
Keeping, Worthman stopped short of the end zone. Big tackle for Sechting and Bailey to keep him out of the end zone. All right, fourth down, Ray, and what's the decision going to be for Air Force?
You know what? I'm going for it. I got Worthman who's hot. I'm going to run him around the edge with a couple of guys in front of him, see if we can't stick this thing in. 3 points, it's still, okay, then a field goal won't lose it for you, but I'm going to run it, and they are.
Worthman on fourth down. The pitch. Owens is stopped, and Fresno State will take over.
Great defensive play and a defensive stand. And it was Juju Hughes and Robert Stanley combining to stop him short. I didn't like the play call. I would rather have seen Worthman just take it around the edge on a sweep rather than run this option in here. There's just too many bodies in there. You're going to see the penetration initially forced the quick pitch, and then bodies showed up. That was some inspired defense. And I got to tell you, Coach Keesaw is going to be loving that. A lot of it depends on how they respond offensively after taking over this ball. They got a long way to go with 3:25 left to get the lead back in this ball game. But the defense stood strong and did what they had to, led by Juju Hughes.
That was a 15-play drive for Air Force, and it ends as they turn it over on downs. So Fresno State from their own 4, and hand off to James, who keeps battling across the 5.
Yeah, they need to get a little breathing room here, and then they can let Chase and Virgil get to work and throwing the football. But You got already 4 interceptions. You want to be real careful.
3 minutes to go. Virgil from his end zone. Should have been picked again. Patrick Healy had a pick 6 earlier in this game, and I'm sure he had visions of another right there.
And this is a bad read by Virgil. He needs to throw this ball out to the flat where he's got a defender or an offensive guy wide open. Instead, he tries to force it into the slant, and he could have hit him between the 4 and the 1. It hit him in a bad spot, apparently, although Healy did catch one earlier.
Yeah, in the third quarter, he had a 35-yard pick 6. Here they come, pressure, and it's batted down, incomplete.
Great job.
Fourth down. That was Haji Dunn who got a hand on it.
Great timing by Dunn to get his hands up and knock that down. This is tough. If you got all 3 timeouts, I think you have to punt this football with 3:20 or what did I say, 2:55 left. Gives you time. You got your timeouts. It gives you time to stop it. If you don't get this here, this 4th and 7, game over. So I think you kick it. Now you also haven't been able to stop the Air Force very much either. So
Fresno
tough decision.
Takes his first time out of the half.
Coach Keesall.
Well, either way, they use a timeout, so they're going to have 2 left, and we'll see what they decide when we come back. Here on this Friday in California with 2:55 to go, Fresno State has used their first timeout of the half.
They're going to go for it, Mark.
That appears to be what the decision is going to be. Now, we were discussing during the break about punting, but hey, you're 1-7.
I think the decision was made when he took the timeout. Yeah. Otherwise, if you're going to punt the football, you don't waste that timeout. That's the man they need to go to right there. Keyshawn Johnson is the top receiver for this team. He's the guy that's their playmaker, and that's the guy you want to go to.
4th and 7, and going in the direction. Dropped. He had it for a moment. Hardaway dropped it, and Air Force will take over on downs.
Great play by Marquise Griffin. Actually, you're right. Hardaway had that ball in his hands. Griffin ripped it out of there. Little tomahawk chop, getting that ball out, and that saved the day for the Air Force. And Fresno still looking for win number 2. Great throw. Got it up in the air. Gave his guy a chance. I mean, there's some separation, but that left hand of Griffin knocks it through. And then, of course, it went off his knee, but it was the chop, the swipe from Griffin that saved the day for the Air Force right there.
So Air Force takes over. 1st and goal from the 6.
Yeah, and I don't want to count them out early. There's still 2:49 left. You force a field goal here, a touchdown still wins it for you. So this game is not over by any stretch. Each team with two timeouts left.
Still plenty of time on the play clock for Workman.
Change the call. He's running out of time. You better hurry.
And they use a timeout.
Yeah, and that's part of being a young quarterback as well.
Air Force takes his 2nd time out of the half.
I mean, there's reasons that Nate Romine is the starting quarterback. And a lot of it has to do with handling situations like that.
Well, what a game this one should be with big-time college football playoff implications. It's unbeaten number 3 Clemson battling number 12 Florida State from Doak Campbell Stadium in Tallahassee on Saturday, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ABC, and also streaming live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN.
Please set
Been
the
an
game
interesting
clock
night
to 2:49.
here in Fresno.
2:49.
And it really began with this week on Sunday when Fresno State relieved head coach Tim DeRuyter of his head coaching duties.
To 2:49.
And Eric Keesall was named the interim head coach. This being his first game as a head coach. They got out to a quick 14-0 lead. Keesall, his team got off to that fast start. We're close to making it 21-0, but a pick turned the game around for Air Force.
That was the one. Hicks had a couple of picks there right in succession and changed the tone of this ball game.
Handoff, Davern to about the 3. Stop for Deshaun Potts.
Playing it safe. Davern with a nice read, gets it outside, picks up a couple of yards. Air Force is just going to take their time. I'm waiting for Fresno to call a timeout. And they finally did.
They do with 2:33 left.
Fresno State takes the timeout.
A little extra time burn off that clock before they got the timeout. Now they're going to put some time back on.
Yeah, they're going to add 4 seconds, make it 2:37 left in the ball game because that's when the timeout was called from the sideline. And this is still a tight deal. And they're still fighting.
Well, calling it Big Saturday this weekend because there are 3 Big Ten games for you, all with college football playoff implications. It begins at noon Eastern, Michigan State. Then 3:30 Northwestern have to shoot to take on Ohio State, and Nebraska, Wisconsin at 7 Eastern. All 3 games are on ESPN and also streaming live on the ESPN app and Watch ESPN.
Is that Big Saturday or Bigly Saturday?
It is a big one.
All right. This is a bigly play coming up right here, I'll tell you that. 2nd and 4.
Worthman keeping, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown, and
that's what I was looking for back on that 4th down that they didn't convert. But they got it there. And Antoine Worthman, tell you what, there is a quarterback controversy in Fort Collins.
Well, Nate Romine
knocked the coach right over.
In Colorado Springs, yeah. Nate Romine.
Wrong town, but
6 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. He injures what looks to be an ankle, and Arion Worthman has come in, and he's been the spark.
No doubt. Changed everything.
And the extra point straight through makes it 31-21, a 10-point lead for Air Force with just over 2.5 minutes to go.
And Worthman does an outstanding job of coming in and just doing what he does. Stats.
Worthman.
And Worthman, you know what? He deserves to dust it off. And then, bam, he's even knocking coaches out. That's a bad dude right there. Hey, check it out. 20 carries, 102 yards, and a pair of touchdowns in the last 20 minutes of this ball game.
And Air Force looking to snap their 3-game losing streak. Haven't won since they beat Navy October 1st. Look at the head-to-head numbers. Of course, Worthman has only attempted 1 pass but was sacked.
He only dropped back once, really.
Right, yeah.
But
didn't attempt a pass, but a passing down when he was sacked. And
you're not going to need to throw the ball a whole lot with him running this option, but you still have to.
Well, the squib returned to the 33-yard line.
Not surprised Coach Calhoun decided to squib it. He was worried about special teams plays with the athletes that Fresno State has. But let's talk and then take another look at Antoine Worthman and what he's done since he's come in here. A lot of it has been just basic quarterback sweeps where he gets behind Davern or another fullback or follows up inside. But he's just been explosive. So quick and hard to get down. He's got a gas pedal to go along with the shake and bake, and he's made great decisions. I mean, other than the fact that he hasn't attempted to throw the football, that's about as good as you can do.
Here comes pressure off the edge. Hit as he throws it, just throws it out of bounds. That was Ryan Watson who had him wrapped up. He was trying to deliver that.
And Watson is the designated pass rusher, 8 sacks on the year, and this is his time, baby. He knows there's no question that ball's going in the air. He lays the ears back and comes after it.
A career 15 sacks, 8 this year to lead the Falcons defense. Air Force plays Army next on November 5th. If they win that, they'll win the Commander-in-Chief Trophy,
which they consider their top goal. A close second would be a Mountain West championship.
Yeah, they've won 19 Commander-in-Chief trophies. They've already beaten Navy, so if they beat Army, they'll wrap that up in their next game. Army's better, though, this year than they have been in recent years. So
You never know, man. Yep. I mean, nobody gave Air Force much of a chance against Navy, and they beat them 28-14.
Flag at the snap.
You see the remaining schedule for the Falcons up there.
False start. Offense, number 1. Never got set. 5-yard penalty. First down.
That's on Jameer Jordan. 6th pre-snap penalty tonight. And those are taking out both guns and shooting both feet. I mean, you just can't win that way, and that's something that Coach Keesaw is going to have to clean up. And it's not something that they've done just recently. It's been a thing throughout as you take another look at the Falcons' remaining games.
Virgil tackled back at the 33.
And Air Force, they love to blitz, especially in these passing type situations, and it looked like it was Watson again getting up off the bottom of that pile.
So Watson picks up his 9th sack of the year. Minute and a half to play, clock running. Virgil, quick strike, Keyshawn Johnson at the 40.
He didn't run that wide enough, and so Latipo is able to tackle him in bounds, keeping the clock running.
And bring it up a 3rd down and long, a 3rd and 11. Virgil fires far side and out of reach. The intended receiver, Delvon Hardaway, and it'll be 4th down.
And Virgil, he sees ghosts in the pocket sometimes. He had a little more time to let his receiver make a move, Hardaway, and he just let it go too quickly. Panicked a little. So now it's 4th and 12.
Jason Virgil does have 303 passing yards, which is a career high for him. Needs a first down here, and he is sacked, and that's should do it. Claude Alexander sacks him back at the 33, and Air Force will take over with 52 seconds left.
And you got to just, I mean, my Ray Bentley player of the game tonight, could it be anybody but Worthman? What an impact he made coming into this ball game. You got to give him a ton of credit. And I will say this about Coach Keesaw's group. They played better tonight than I've seen them play on film. No question. I think they're taking steps in the right direction. Yeah, there are no moral victories in football. That's understood. But there is something that he can build on here. Just got to get his quarterback older. And how do you do that? You know, how do you get a kid more, better in those situations without having to go through these down times initially? I mean, you look at Derek Carr. He was 4-9 as a sophomore here at Fresno, and then Coach got fired. They sent Pat Hill packing, and they gave that team to Tim DeRuiter, and they win 2 Mountain West Conference championships in a row. So there's a good future here, and believe me, I think that chasing Virgil is going to be a real good one before it's over.
Fresno State next action there at Colorado State on November 5th. But they're going to lose for the 7th time, which will tie a school record.
7th consecutive loss, yeah.
And they'll drop to 1-8 overall, 0-5 in conference. Air Force will end their 3-game skid, improve to 5-3 overall, 2-3 in conference. And the question left tonight for Air Force is, what do you do with Arion Worthman next week?
You play him. And maybe it's a platoon deal where, in certain situations, if Romine's healthy enough, bring him in to throw the football. He can still run it and all those things. But, boy, you can't leave a guy like Worthman on the bench after seeing what we did tonight. I just don't see how you can do it.
20 carries, 102 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns. So Worthman averaged 5.1 yards per carry. Well, 30 for 30 coming up next. Air Force wins it by a final of 31-21 over Fresno State. For Ray Bentley and our entire crew, I'm Mark Neely. Thanks for sharing this one with us. Good night from California.